Ethan back for another beer review. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing Busch Beer. This is a 25-ounce can. Anhueser Busch gives you that extra additional ounce in their cans. Also got a natural ice, also from Anhueser Busch Brewing Company. It also gets a 25-ounce can, additional ounce, as well as Busch Bud Ice. I also got. Let's go ahead and crack this. No smoke. Busch Beer is brewed by Anhueser Busch in St. Louis, Missouri. It is 4.3% alcohol by volume. At one point it was higher, I believe 4.8 or 4.9. Let's go ahead and give it a pour. Wow, very clear, very clear. This is lighter than Bud Light. Busch was introduced in 1955 as Busch Bavarian Beer, but then in 1979 it was just called Busch Beer. Other beers brewed by Busch are Busch Light, 4.1%, introduced in 1989. I think I've had Busch Light. 4.1 for the light, 4.3 for the regular Busch. Really not much difference between the two. Both around the alcohol and calorie content of a Bud Light. Busch is also 133 calories per 12 ounce. So it's a light beer. I mean, I've heard people in reviews sort of complain or gripe about the lightness, and I mean, you can see that. It is very light. I mean, lighter than straw. It's like a for lack of a better term, it's almost like a urine yellow color. It is so light, and that had dissipated quickly. I remember Busch was actually one of the first beers I remember drinking as a guy in my early 20s because it was so cheap and because the alcohol was lower. But 4.3%. Oh, there's no aroma. My goodness. This is seltzer water, y'all. Not really, but you know, let's go ahead and give it a try. Wow, that's watery. You know, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have thought this was as watery, but as there have been more beers that I've tried, my palate sort of grown with beer tasting, so something like a Busch really comes off as lighter than it once would have. But I do like the 25-ounce can. They do give you that extra ounce for the price. I believe this was like $1.59 for the 25-ounce can. Anheuser Busch is good about that, giving you that extra ounce. I've had Busch Ice before. It's 5.9%, introduced in 1993 during the ice beer craze of the early 90s. I've had that. You know, I see Busch Ice more than I see Busch Light. But regular Busch and Busch Ice are very prevalent in this area. You see them everywhere, particularly gas stations, convenience stores, liquor stores. But generally the Busch, I see it the most in gas stations, like your Racetrack, your Quick Trip. I mean, on the taste and aroma, it is very, very light. I mean, this is something you'd want to drink in like 95-degree weather. It's been a minute, it's been a hot minute since I've had this. It's been a long while. But when I first started drinking beer, I remember getting this a lot, again, because of the affordable price and low alcohol content. It's a good beer to start drinking beer with, but then as you drink more, you'll probably not come back to it as often. But, you know, for what it is, a float in the river, watching football, or watching fireworks on July 4th kind of beer, you know, you can't go wrong with it. It's good. It's very watery. Honestly, it's on par with Bud Light, even though it's not technically a light beer. I don't think I've had Busch Light, but it's hard for me to imagine something lighter than this, but I guess it's possible. One reason it probably seems so light to me is because earlier my palate's probably all messed up, because earlier I had a 7.2% beer, you know, a Scotch ale, so that probably didn't help the Busch any with the flavor. But, you know, for a score, for what it is, and for my preference, I'd give it a 91. You know, a little less than other American adjunct lagers because it is so light. It is so watery, but it has flavor, mostly a corn and a seltzery water. No hop, no bitterness, no malt, none of that. It is clean. I mean, if nothing else can be said about Busch, it is clean and refreshing. There is no off flavors. It's, again, it's like drinking water, but with a little bit of alcohol. 91, A-, for the style and for personal preference. You know, after a hot day, this would go down well. This would hit the spot. But I would imagine, here we are in October, as the weather cools, this would be a little too light for you, a little light for me, but I do enjoy it. 91 out of 100 for the Busch Beer from Anhueser Busch Brewing Company. Cheers, and thank you for watching.